After traveling 6 continents by bike, I finally arrived in Korea. After traveling to Gangwon-do and Gyeongsang-do, I came to Jeju Island, my favorite place. Jeju is a special place for me. In 2009, it was the first time I traveled alone, and even I did it by bicycle. It was a bit scary, but I felt thrilled of adventure. After that, I loved Jeju, so I came down and lived 9 months. If I hadn't traveled to Jeju, I don't think I would ever travel the world. At the end of my world tour, I came back to Jeju, which taught me about adventure. It was quite chilly in February, so I warmed up my frozen body by eating Jeju's specialty meat noodles. I love Jeju volcanic stone wall, so I wander along village's winding path. Unlike the mainland, Jeju has well-maintained public free campsites. As a solo traveler, I feel nervous about camping in the wild. However, camping at public campsite makes me feel comfortable. And it's right in front of the sea. I'm spending the night in front of Myeongdo, my favorite island. It's so lucky to see turquoise sea in Korea. One of the famous things about Jeju is the wind. I pack up my tent in the strong wind of Jeju. One of my favorite things about Jeju Island is Orum. When I'm cycling, if there's Orum nearby, I stop and hike. It only takes about 30 minutes to hike. That is so easy, but beautiful. The mainland is surrounded by mountains, but Jeju Island only has small Orums and the big Hallasan mountain. So the view is wide open, which is nice. While riding my bike, I happened to meet a world traveler I had a chat through the blog a long time ago. He sailed in Jeju Island. Another world cyclist traveler, Mingyuri, that I know also sailed in Jeju Island. Since they knew each other, we had a samgyeopsal together. Jeju is a special place where traveler, artists, actors, singers, retirees, and many others come to live. There's a joke, Jeju has many tangerine farms, so if you buy tangerines, you have no social life. Mingyuri gave me a lot of them that day. I was excited and thought I finally become local. Mingyuri became a farmer in Jeju after cycling the world. Later, I went to Mingyuri's cabbage farm and picked up cabbages and went to a tangerine farm to trim the prunes and gain experience working on a farm. While cycling, I heard that dolphins are spotted around here, so I kept looking at the sea, but I couldn't see them. It was chilly, so I bought a coffee at the convenience store, but the second floor was so nice, and I unexpectedly saw dolphins while resting. The cloud was coming soon that I had to hurry. I went to a restaurant near my hotel for dinner. While talking to the owner, I heard that there's an organization picking marine debris. So I extended my stay and participated in. The participation fee was free and the gloves and bag were provided. There were all kinds of trash. There are a lot of items used by fishermen, a lot of water bottles, and disposable water cups. I hope restaurants stop using unnecessary disposable water cups. The most annoying trash was styrofoam. Styrofoam is a devil's invention. Granules are spread out and impossible to pick up. The small pieces break and fall into holes when I try to pick. The fish that eat styrofoam will eventually become the seafood we eat. Some states in the US have completely banned styrofoam. And I hear that Korea has started to ban styrofoam boy. While picking up trash, I saw a lot of trash from China. Korean trash will flew to Japan, and Japan's trash will flew to the US. I realized marine debris needs international regulation and joint solution. As approaching Sag Beach, I forgot how Songak was such a wonderful place. Jeju is indeed a blessed place, but it also has a tragic historical reality. I kept seeing caves dug by Japanese military during the colonial era in the beautiful island. I found a nice co-working space on Sag Beach and stayed there for 2.5 months. Since it's difficult to keep video and blogs while traveling, I stay longer if I find a good place. I have used many shared office overseas, but here the people felt more genuine. It was the first time I met people from Korean big tech companies and various startups in one place, so it was great to get different ideas. I ran every week with them, learned meditation, had a healthy vegetarian food, ate lunch together every day, and had a serious discussion about the life, which was a time for internal growth. I went to the share office at 9 a.m. and came back to 10 or 11 p.m. every day. I wanted to work only from Monday to Friday, but I had so many things to edit that it was impossible. I worked every day except one day, and that day was April 3rd. It took 2.5 hours by bus to get to Jeju 4-3 Memorial, but I couldn't wake up early and gave up on going. Then I heard the 4-3 Memorial silence sounded at morning. In the end, I rushed to catch a bus to be there, even if we were late. The Jeju 4-3 incident was Korea's deadliest civilian massacre with about 30,000 civilians killed between 1948 and 1954. It's quite complicated historically. Korea was colonized by Imperial Japan from 1910 to 1945 and became independent after Japan's surrender in 1945. Following the atomic bombing by the US. Afterward, Korea was divided between the US and the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union controlling the north and the US military government controlling the south. The US military government hired pro-Japanese officers in South Korean police, angering many Koreans. In Jeju, an incident between the police and citizens resulted in several innocent Koreans being killed by police, sparking large protests. The US investigation labeled 75% of Jeju's population as communist, despite 350 out of 300,000 being communist. Ultra-rightists from the mainland came to Jeju and began killing civilians under the guise of hunting communists. On 3rd April, 350 communists attacked police offices. A Korean general managed to reconcile with the communist leaders in Jeju. The US military government dismissed him. In May 1948, Jeju boycotted the separation election, making it invalid. The US Navy enforced a blockade on Jeju. But the election failed again in Jeju in June. American commanders were furious and launched a campaign to cleanse the island. The genocide spread irreversibly on a massive scale, with the civilians being burned alive, villages destroyed, and people executed without trial. Many children, too young to even understand communism, were also killed. Syngman Lee became president in July 1948, but genocide continued until 1954. The South Korean government issued an official apology in 2003. The 4-3 Jeju Peace Organization continued to petition the US government for an apology. 80-year-old grandmother still cried when she remembered losing her parents during that time. I felt a heavy hurt thinking that some wounds can never heal, no matter how much time passed. Spring is ending and summer is near. It feels like it's time to wrap up my world tour, so I say goodbye to my co-working space colleagues and get back on my bike. Jeju is already filled with the green leaves. I'm flying to Seoul for a 3-night business trip. The last year, I was invited to give a talk at the Hong Kong Polytech University School of Hotel and Tourism Management. The dean recommended me for a lecture at Asia Pacific Tourism Conference at Yonsei University. Nervous at my first international conference, I took a famous Korean calming medicine, which actually worked. Passing briefly through Jeju City from Sag Beach, I was surprised by its complexity, but Seoul was on a whole different level. After the conference, returning to Jeju, I felt a longing for Seoul's sophistications. But very soon, Jeju's scenery made me not want to go back to Seoul. Following quiet country roads, I reached a beautiful coastline. It was difficult to set up tent due to strong Jeju's wind. The next morning was peaceful, as if nothing had happened. After exploring the coast, I headed into Jeju mid-mountain region. Unlike the coast, there were plenty of spots to pitch a tent in the wild. It felt like I was pitching a tent in Australia and New Zealand. I remember being able to enjoy the freedom of nature with no trace of people. There was a place like that in the middle of Jeju Island. Before leaving Jeju, I finally climbed Hallasan. Baekdusan is the highest mountain in North Korea, and Hallasan is the highest mountain in South Korea. Last summer, I saw the crater lake of Baekdusan, Korean spiritual mountain in China. And looking at Hallasan crater lake, I felt as if I had seen entire Korean peninsula. It seems time to end my journey soon. Jeju, which has suffered such a great wounds. Despite all this, Jeju gives us beautiful nature, become a warm shelter, teach us the spirit of challenge and adventure, and enriches our lives by providing us with the food. No matter how much we humans have caused it to suffer, Jeju always silently guards its place and generously shared everything with us. Jeju is the greatest treasure of the Korean peninsula. Looking forward to the day I return to Jeju. I head back to the mainland to finish my world tour.